com. It is 8:06. It is the 8th of July of 2026. And we have got a rainy afternoon in store. Perhaps 30% chance today, 50% chance tomorrow. Highs in the mid-90s throughout the course of the rest of the week. Looks like our best chance for rain is actually going to be on Saturday. Lowest chance is going to be on Friday. So, yeah, the weekend looks like it might be jacked a little bit. But you know what? We'll deal with it because that's what we do. Anthony & Company Jewelers, ready to handle your anniversary present or your just because present, whatever is necessary. You know, they're at 2080 Valleydale Road next to Ragtime Cafe. They manufacture their own jewelry. That is to say, they build and design their own stuff. But they also have huge selections of already produced, prepared for you, fantastic, every kind of gemstone, every kind of precious metal you can imagine, a large selection of crosses. They have a nice estate section as well. And again, you can get something made specifically for you, for your sweetie, if that's what you want to do. Their prices are so low they can't afford to have a sale. The nicest people on the planet. And if you don't know what to get her, they will help you choose because they're that good. Anthony & Company Jewelers, 2080 Valleydale Road next to Ragtime Cafe. Hey, Steve-O, we got Trump and Zelensky holding what they call a bilat. It's a press conference over there at NATO. How about we join this and hear what Donald has to say?
No money. They took every ounce of cash, put it in, flew it to Iran, and gave them the money. I wonder what these guys thought of when the door opened and cash fell out of this big plane, beautiful plane. And then on top of that, they gave them billions and billions of dollars. And by the way, they gave it to the wrong country, frankly. You want to know the truth. And it began. That was pretty much the Obama deal. That was one of the worst tragedies that happened. That's what happened in the Middle East. That deal set back that whole situation. They went with it. Frankly, they picked the wrong country. They picked the wrong country. POC. What a terrible deal. I call it the Obama nuclear waste deal because what he did with that deal is he caused tremendous hardship in the Middle East. It was a terrible thing to do. And we've been just the opposite. Our deal is a wall to a nuclear weapon. His deal was a road to a nuclear weapon. They'll never build a nuclear weapon under our deal. But I don't know if we're going to have a deal. We may just do it without a deal. Because you know what? It's easier. Because these people, they lie and they cheat, and you have an agreement, and they'll go outside. For instance, they agreed, well, we'll never have a nuclear weapon. They agreed. Then they go outside, they have a news conference where they leak that we never discussed the subject. Now, who would believe we never discussed the subject? Because for me, that's 99.9% of what we're doing. It's denuclearization of Iran, okay? So when you ask, our guys can continue. You know, Steve is great, and Jared, and all the guys. They know him very well. Yeah, actually, they're working on your stuff, too. I wonder which. I picked two beauties. You know what? We settled 8 wars. I got a couple of beauties here. But Steve's great, and Jared's great. You know, they're the right guys. And we'll see what happens. But I will say this. Iran, they've misbehaved for 47 years. They've killed our soldiers, they've killed our people, and they've killed a lot of people all over the Middle East and elsewhere. And the roadside bomb was their preferred, the preferred weapon was by Soleimani, the roadside bomb, where it would explode under a truck. We actually built trucks with floors, steel this thick. And then all they did was they made bigger bombs. And we have young guys around, not walking around because they have no legs, but their legs were blown off, their arms were blown off, their face was blown off, and they live because of modern medicine. You can do anything, but they're living like in hell. Their whole life changed because of Iran, and that was 96% of the people that used that. They were made in Iran, and so we have a score to settle too.
Mr. President, you say that President Putin is ready to finish this war. What if he doesn't? Are you ready to put pressure on Russia? Are you ready to put more sanctions?
We have a lot of pressure on President Putin. You know, I don't think he likes what's going on. I don't think he's thrilled with what's happening. There's a lot of pressure on President Putin to get it done. I think there's pressure on everybody to get that one done. A lot of pressure.
Mr. President, what's your security guarantee for Ukraine?
The guarantee?
Yeah, security guarantee for
the
Ukraine.
Security guarantee you're talking about? I mean, not that we want to do it. We'll do it to save lives. Look, Ukraine's very far away. We have an ocean separating us. What I'm doing is I'm trying to save lives. A lot of lives are being lost. I also think that it's a country with great potential. I think if this kind of brain power can go toward rebuilding the country instead of fighting a war, I think that country is going to do fantastically well. And likewise, Russia, you know, look, they're devoting a lot of energy. A lot of energy. Do you have a question for President Putin, please?
Пане президенте, чи можете ви сказати,
Do you have a question for President Putin?
Yes.
Not Zelensky. Yeah, what would you like to ask him? Because I'm going to ask him that question.
I have a question. Last year you called Russia a paper tiger, referring that they're not doing that
Who
great.
did I call?
I'm from Telegraph UA, Ukrainian media.
No, give us a question, not for Zelensky. Give us a question for Putin.
Why is he attacking Ukraine
Because I'm
cities
speaking
in
to him
Human
today.
Peace?
Yeah, how
Putin,
Why is he
Give me a
attacking
good, hard
Ukraine
question.
cities in Human Peace?
when will he end this war?
That's a
the
good question. I don't think I've ever asked him that question. I'm going to ask him that question.
Пане президенте,
Mr. President,
Пане
what's the
президенте,
status of a
чи
trade deal
attacking
between the
Ukraine
U.S.
Say
and
it.
Ukraine? What's the status
By the way,
of the
I will tell you, though, he's going to tell you that he wants it ended as soon as he can end it. He wants it ended. He wants to end it soon. And I ask him, and we talk. I talk to him a lot. I talk to him a little bit less, but the relationship is very good. But I talk to President Putin a lot. He wants to end the war. A lot of people don't believe that.
Doesn't he
What's
want
the
all of
status
you?
of the trade deal between Ukraine?
What are President Putin's conditions for ending the war? Do you know what?
Well, they were certain conditions that were a little bit different. I think they're changing. I think they're probably getting a little bit better toward some of the things that you'd like. It's been tougher in Russia. It's been a lot tougher than it was supposed to be. I mean, in all fairness, this was supposed to be this is a war that would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. You'd have a full country, you know. I mean, it's just a shame that it happened. But no, this is something that I think Zelensky wants to do and Putin wants to do. They want to get it done. Ask the president that question. Ask him.
Пане президенте, ви знаєте, на яких зараз умовах Володимир Путін готовий завершувати війну в Україні? Чи ж вони змінилися?
Yeah, now they're speaking Ukrainian, so yeah, let's cut away from that. When you start asking questions in Ukrainian, you lose me. As Donald Trump talking about the situation with Iran, and then also what's happening between Russia and Ukraine. Interestingly, Russia has been losing 32,000 soldiers a month, or approximately 8,000 soldiers a
That's
week.
a lot, yeah.
That is both to injury and to death, of course. And so they're really running low. They're running on empty. They don't really have any more troops to send in. They're getting to the point where it's kind of like, and Ukraine kind of figured this out. They're going to keep sending us cannon fodder. We'll go ahead and keep hitting them with a cannon. And I think Russia is beginning to find themselves on the short end of the stick here. And, you know, now you've got Ukraine working their way in and taking back some of the Donbass region. They're now working their way into Crimea, which we didn't even know was in play, and now suddenly they've decided they want some of that as well. So this could go on for quite some time, but they may eventually get a negotiated settlement out of Putin.
He said tonight we're going to hit Iran with more strikes.
Again,
tonight.
Keep it coming, kids.
Yep, and that's what they're
Keep
planning on doing.
It coming. All right, 8:15 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. When your roof starts to go, you really need to have someone you can trust, and that is a really big deal in the roofing business. I don't know why it is that there are so many guys out there in roofing that are a little shady. They're playing a little fast and loose, you know. They love to go, we're giving out free roof inspections. Well, all roof inspections should be free. Then they come back and they go, look at this. We can get you. Your insurance will buy you a new roof. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's not true. But what you need to know is, what is this going to set me back? What kind of job are you going to do? Is it going to be 100% on the up and up? Do we have trained people? Do you guys know what they're doing? This is why I trust HHM Roofing and Construction, because I know Ryan and company are going to take great care of you. They've got an instant estimator right there on their website. They have got recent projects. They've got all 5-star reviews. Every review, 5 stars. Haven't had a single less than 5-star review since they opened the company, which is amazing. They also build some decks, by the way, if you're interested in that. But yeah, roofing and construction, HHM, the name of the company, hhmroofs.com. So whether you're looking for installation, replacement, inspection, maintenance, repair, emergency roof services too, if you had a tree fall on your house during the storms over the past couple of days, HHM Roofing and Construction can handle it for you. 396-7077, 396-7077, or find them online at hhmroofs.com. These are the guys I trust. 820 Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, Talk 99.5.com. Trump and Zelensky still talking there in Turkey. They're in Ankara. Turkey
That's probably going to go on a while.
I would think so, mostly because Donald Trump is a blowhard who can't seem to stop talking. I mean,
well, he's allowing the media to ask questions, so
that's true.
They'll ask questions for 2 hours.
We like that. But I thought Obama was a filibusterer. Yeah. Trump will answer a question for 15 minutes and mostly repeat himself. Like, how many times have we heard? A year ago, nobody wanted to talk to us. We were the worst. It was the worst country in the world. Everybody knew it was terrible. Everybody was talking about how bad it was. Now everybody wants to do business with us. You're like, how many times are you going to say that? I guess as many times as it takes.
Sure.
You know, he repeats himself quite a bit, but isn't that what good marketing is?
Oh, it's excellent. Yeah, very smart on his part.
You tell him what you're going to tell him, then you tell him, and then you tell him what you told him.
Yeah.
It's essentially how it works. Speaking of Donald Trump, he said the other day that his tariffs are working, and that is why Toyota is moving some of their manufacturing from Mexico to Texas, or the United States anyway.
That's awesome.
So they're going to invest $3.6 billion to move production of its Tacoma mid-sized pickup truck from its plant in Tijuana, Mexico, to its manufacturing campus in San Antonio, Texas. The project is expected to create about 2,000 U.S. jobs, add a second assembly line, and expand the facility's annual production capacity from roughly 200,000 to 350,000 vehicles. Lost in all of this, by the way, is the part that nobody really sees. The tariffs, of course, were nice. Obviously, we have to pay some of them back now, and some of that is being paid back because the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional. You couldn't just say it was a state of emergency and throw tariffs on. But on the other hand, if you were, retaliatory tariffs for whatever it was they were doing, or if you had a good reason for putting tariffs on, you could actually do that. You had to be able to show cause, et cetera, et cetera. But he did, in fact, frighten Toyota into building some of their manufacturing, some of their stuff here. We of course, already had some. We got some up in Huntsville, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So Toyota's already building some of the stuff here. But lost in the shuffle is the fact that he has quietly removed a lot of restrictions. Remember the ribbon-cutting ceremony where he cut, he said, we managed to get rid of 200 restrictions for, every 20 that we added or something. He wanted to make it 2-to-1. And it ended up being more like 10-to-1. They were getting rid of 10 different restrictions, 10 different rules and regulations and whatnot, many of which were duplicative, You got OSHA over here doing this, and then you've got another federal agency that does something similar, and they all overlap, and it costs you so much to comply with them. This is why manufacturing moved out of the United States.
And you can understand why they would
Sure.
do that.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about saving some money. But Trump, again, brilliant that he's like, no, we need all of our manufacturing as much as that we can get back into the U.S. Here, and Toyota sees that. Now, and I've said this before, this is the part that concerns me. Under this administration, they're making things good for car makers to move those manufacturing plants back here. If you have another Democratic president, do they pile all those regulations back on, and Toyota says, nope, see you later, we're going back to Mexico. And you have this back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
I wish we could, maintain them. Let Toyota stay here and get all those restrictions off of all of these dealerships so they're not dealing with this, and that, we've got a thriving economy here in the U.S.
That is not an unreasonable fear in that, unfortunately, we can't get Congress, for the most part, to codify a lot of this stuff into law. And some of it has to do with John Thune in the Senate. The House has passed a whole bunch of legislation that has never been brought up in the Senate because John Thune just refuses to try. Now, you could say, well, it's because, they got the filibuster and you're not going to get the 60 votes and so on and so forth. I still maintain that the non-zombie filibuster is an option. It should really be tried. It should be tried immediately, and see how Democrats are able to pull that off. If they can stand up and they can talk for 60 straight days and make the case for why you shouldn't show your ID when voting. Why we shouldn't
Still
demand
makes
citizenship.
No sense.
Yeah.
That just
it would be
head-shaking.
Yeah, it'd be a huge television programming fiasco for sure, because anybody and everybody would want to cover some of that. And so a boon in that direction, maybe wait for the World Cup to end, I don't know. Um, but in the long run, it would eventually allow for a vote on the Save America Act and allow us to vote on this thing and say, yes, we really do believe by a vote of 51 to 49 or whatever, maybe 51-50. We may have to bring J.D. Vance in to break a tie.
Whatever it takes.
But, yeah, we actually are able to get this thing passed, and you have to get a citizen. You have to prove your citizenship to register, and you have to provide a picture ID to vote.
I think that's pretty American, don't you?
It doesn't sound un-American to me.
No, it doesn't. And I don't, again, I say it's one of the most important things that we need to have passed. I wouldn't say in our lifetime, but it sure is going to have repercussions all the way down the road with every election we ever have.
Yeah.
And could forever change things so that our elections are secure. Your vote counts, my vote counts.
Sure.
Everyone that's an American citizen, we show ID. Seems very simple.
This would change the face of elections by a great deal, especially in, as we've discussed before, states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, California. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Democrats are still going to win California, but not overwhelmingly. They're going to win 55-45. Right now, they're winning 60-40. They're winning 62-38. When you start imposing these rules and regulations, you're going to see that change and shift. And Georgia will never go blue again, in my opinion, once you institute rules like this. There's going to be some states that you'll never see. I think even Virginia, there's a good chance that you would see that turn red and stay red. So, again, I'm really upset with John Thune overall because he's not willing to try and do the things that need to be done in order to get some of this legislation passed. He is, Trump is a maverick. Trump has actually discussed things like disbanding NATO. Now, would he disband NATO? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, it certainly gets the attention of the members of NATO when you say,
because they're like, what?
Gene,
what?
Maybe we should disband this group. Maybe it's outlived its usefulness. So they're kind of like, wait, here's some money. Okay, sorry. We're going to, and you can use our bases and whatever. And you start to figure things out like that. But he's also the kind of guy who says every single Republican president has talked about doing away with the Department of Education. I'm going to actually do it. And all the arguments that you see from anybody against it are like, well, test scores were just horrible last year. You want to disband the Department of Education? Yes, test scores were horrible with the Department of Education. You're telling me they're going to be worse without it?
Yeah. Why not try it without it and see what happens?
Let's just see.
If nothing else.
If it turns out that was a bad idea, we can always rebuild it and try again. But we didn't have a Department of Education when you and I were in school. That was something that popped up, I believe, under the Carter administration. Now, that was energy. I think it was Reagan, actually, that started the Department of Education. It was a bad idea. Centralizing things like that.
Well, and again, I think that's why so many of us like this president, is because he's bold enough to say the things and do the things that, no other president has ever done.
Well,
and he's doing it again today.
John F. Kennedy had that great line that said, others see things as they are and say why. I see things as they could be and say, why not? Mm-hmm. That really is Donald Trump. He really does look at the way that things could be. Now, is he a blowhard? Is he long-winded? Is he a narcissist? Do I really need to answer these questions? We all know. But he's our orange man. He's working hard for the American people.
That's what's important.
I mean, good Lord. When was the last time you saw a president get a red card rescinded? Come on.
That was beautiful.
8:30.
Even though there's a loss, I just love that he was able to do that.
That was a wonderful thing. Stick around, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5. 8:33, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, Talk and 99.5.com. Pardon me.
Me.
A little rain in the forecast this afternoon, same tomorrow. You know how it is. It's the summer pattern. That's where we are. Joining us now on the phone line where we interview people, Sheldon Yellen is the co-host of a show entitled Hearts of Heroes, entering its 8th season on ABC. It highlights first responders, military types, and everyday heroes who get involved and rescue people, natural disasters, et cetera, et cetera. Hello, Sheldon. How are you?
Great. How are you?
We are digging it. Love the summer weather pattern here in Alabama. Tell me something. Where and we find your show on ABC. What night is it on and what time is it on?
So you'll find it on the weekends. Look at your local ABC affiliate schedule, and you will. It's a little bit different in certain areas of the country, but on the weekends.
Gotcha. You're now co-hosting with Brooke Shields. How's that?
Well, I got to tell you, this is our 8th season, Brooke's first season, and it's just a lot of fun. The energy on the set is fun. Brooke is, I guess the best way to explain Brooke is she's just all in. She loves meeting with these first responders. She loves meeting with those people that have been saved. She loves when there's a reunion and they get to thank those that saved them. She's just really got the energy, the excitement, and the passion to present these people in such a great way. It's a lot of fun working with her. It really is.
So, Sheldon, for those that maybe have not seen this show, I know 8 seasons is a long time, and by now you would think that most have. But describe for our audience kind of what this show is about.
So, with Hearts of Heroes, what we get to do is we get to highlight the fantastic things that our heroic first responders do every day. These heroic men and women run in when we're all running out. And to visualize this, I give you an example. An apartment building on fire. People trapped inside on the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th floor. How do they get out? Well, you're waiting for that truck to show up, for the policemen, the firemen to show up, and they come running in with flames running over their heads. They get you out first. They get you to safety, put themselves at risk. And we've seen firemen, police officers running in sometimes without all of the necessary equipment on because time doesn't allow it. There's no hesitation. These people just live for that moment to make a life-saving rescue. And I think when you watch this episode or this show unfold, you see the best of what America has to offer.
It takes a certain kind of person to do that, hence the name of the show, Hearts of Heroes. If you could point out one thing, you could say, well, all these people have this thing in common. There's one thing in common. You know, what would that one thing be that you could point to?
Authenticity. They live it, they breathe it, it's in their blood, it's in their fiber, it's authentic. You can't do this for a job. This is in your fiber. They live for this one moment in time to make that rescue, to save a complete stranger in whatever situation they find themselves in.
And do you plan to do more seasons beyond the one that you're currently involved in on ABC? Is it something that you're going to continue for quite some time?
I sure hope so, and I think that Brooke is feeling the same way, and I think together we just want to continue to present the fantastic men and women in the first responder world. We really do hope to keep doing this for a long time to come.
Well, Sheldon, the reason I booked you is that we really needed some good news. It's been a little heavy lately. You know, we've got wars going on. We've got prices that are not where we want them to be as of yet. It seems like, you know, with all the youth mayhem that's going on and these city takeovers and all that nonsense, it's great to hear somebody who's accentuating the positive aspects of America, and I want you to keep it up for as long as humanly possible.
Thank you so much, and we're excited. And again, I hope the viewers feel that emotional attachment to these heroic men and women that put it all on the line every day. You watch these episodes and you are going to see, believe, and feel the best in America. You really will.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sheldon. Take care, my friend. Have a great show. That's Sheldon Yellen from Hearts of Heroes. Weekends on ABC 3340, obviously.
Yeah, I've not seen an episode of this. I was just watching a trailer of the show, and it's, it really does highlight. I mean, it's on scene with firefighters going into buildings and, first responders doing what they do on a daily basis, and you get a bird's eye view of that. So you might want to check it out.
With police officers in your family, ain't nobody getting rich in that job, You don't become a police officer because you're like, I'm going to make my fortune here. You do it for other reasons, kind of like teaching.
Absolutely.
I think same is true with firefighters. Firefighters get paid pretty well, but they are risking their lives on the daily when you get right down to it. And every time we lose a couple in a blaze of some kind, it's just a reminder of just how dangerous a job that can be. And then, the military folks, and then, of course, the everyday heroes, the folks who are willing to run into a burning building to save orphans or whatever the case may be. This is the kind of stuff that they highlight. So if you get a chance, you should definitely check it out because, man, who doesn't need a little good news every now and then?
Absolutely.
The Alabama Men's Clinic's got some good news for you. If you are struggling with a low T, these guys are there, ready, willing, and able to, A, give you a number. They'll tell you what your testosterone level is that very day when you go in for your initial consultation. It'll set you back $99, which is a pittance. And then they'll talk to you about a plan about how to get that testosterone level up to where it needs to be. They can do invasive, non-invasive, however you want to do it, and make it as convenient for you as humanly possible. And then, if you're still struggling with ED after you get the low T under control, you can talk about that and what it takes to get that straightened back out again, so to speak. And also, what are we dealing with hair loss and weight loss? GLP-1s are available. You might want to talk to them about that because as you get a little older, sometimes it's harder to get that spare tire off, Alabama Men's Clinic. Men is their middle name. 598-7000, the telephone number, 598-7000. Give them a call and make yourself an appointment or find them online, alabamamensclinic.com. Urology-backed medicine, great people who are going to treat the whole you. Alabama Men's Clinic. The way I understand it, Neil Diamond was struggling to write a song in a hotel room somewhere on tour. And he turned on the TV and saw a little video footage of Carolyn Kennedy, who looked so sweet and innocent and pure and wonderful that the word Sweet Caroline just came to him, and the song basically wrote itself from there.
Sweet Caroline, bum, bum, bum. So good, so good, so good.
847 Dixon Dividing Talk 99.5 Talk on 99.5.com. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us, and being a part of this shindig. Sounds to me like a good bit of our transmitter problems are through. We'll get to that in just a moment. First, Hank says, "Oh my goodness, you're as bad as Skippy. Get back to your show, please." Hank, that was when we aired a little bit of the Donald Trump press conference.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, that's news.
It is.
We want to hear what the president has to say.
There's two big things. The deal now, the ceasefire gone with
Iran.
Iran. Important to hear what he has to say. And he's got Zelensky right there. He's trying to help end the war between Russia and Ukraine.
That is exactly right.
It doesn't get bigger than that.
Tammy says, "Richard, please quit imitating our president, DJT. With love. American flag, American flag, American flag, American flag, American flag. 100%.
She doesn't like you making fun or imitating the president. I think
a lot of people don't care for it. Many people are upset. They get angry with me. They're like, please don't do it.
Tammy right now is like, stop it.
A lot of people do like it. Some people enjoy it a great deal. I don't know. People are saying.
I told you that with some of my days off, I finally sat down and watched the Melania movie.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I wouldn't give it a A++. It's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you do get a sense more of her because so little has been.
Right.
Agree. We don't know that much about her, that she's not about, doing a whole bunch of interviews and that sort of thing.
We know two things about her, really. She's really incredibly hot. And every time she looks at you, she looks like she's trying to remember where she knows you from.
She's
got
probably
that squint. She's always like,
did
we go to eighth
one
grade
of the
together?
things that, and I found, this is the part that I found fascinating, I'd love to see a whole lot more of it, is all of the behind-scenes things, like the halls they had to go down once they got out of, Secret Service vehicles and they were headed to whatever event it was. Even on Inauguration Day, you got a behind the scenes as they were coming in to that area where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and others were. All of it just very interesting. It just gives you a different perspective. Again, it's not an A++ movie, but if
informative.
Very informative.
And
I would say
educational.
that. Mm-hmm.
I like it. McGee says, Department of Education began in Jimmy Carter's last year. Law passed October 79, implemented in 1980. Okay. I got you. Thank you, McGee. I appreciate that. I appreciate you doing the research on that. Bama Blondie. I'm laughing at Richard calling Trump a blowhard. He says Trump repeats himself and likes to hear himself talk. Richard's the epitome of all that. All he does is yap. And then there's 7 laughy cry face emojis. I said, hey, how nice of you to notice. I appreciate it. There's 2 things going on here. Number one, we're finding out that people listen to us a great deal, and they listen closely.
Yes, they do.
And the other is that the Skippy nickname is sticking.
Oh, it's. I think it's a done deal.
I think it is, too. Mm-hmm. I like it. Daniel offered to travel south. He said he's on his way to the beach. I can test the range going south before switching to the app. I said, all right, thanks very much. We would appreciate that. So he texts in 8:35. I made it to mile marker 184 south on 65 right before Prattville before I had inconsistent radio reception and had to switch to the app. Hope this helps. That's a long way.
That's pretty good.
Getting down to Prattville. What I noticed because I'll go down and visit my grandson and I'll listen to us all the way down there. 186 is where I get off, I believe. And then, no, it's actually, it's later than that. It's a little further down. But a lot of times, if you blow right past Prattville and you go a little bit further, the signal will come back.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll pick it up again just north of Montgomery, and it'll last like almost all the way into that city, and then it'll disappear. We have got one strong stick, baby. One strong stick. Let's see. Welcome back, Val, Steve, and Spud did a wonderful job filling in. I received a voter registration in the mail yesterday. It wasn't addressed to anyone, says Susie.
Oh.
Well, go ahead, register twice.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, knock yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
Big C says, absolutely love the DJT impressions. Well, thank you, Big C. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Richard, I do believe that's very accurate in the phrasing and everything and pretty close to tone. Extra funny most of the time. Thank you, Tony. Tanya, it's done with love, by the way. I'm
Sure
not
it
trying
is.
to pick on the president.
No, but we all know what
Yeah.
that's all about.
Yeah,
You know?
he's got his
It's the
thing.
biggest, it's the most fantastic
Yeah.
thing ever.
Yeah.
Everything is just
That's what makes
huge.
it kind of easy to do is you just speak in pure superlatives all the time. Nothing, he never says like, that's the most mediocre thing I've ever
No,
seen.
he never
It's
says that.
No, nothing is mediocre.
No, it's the biggest, the best,
Mhm.
the greatest thing ever.
Uh-oh. Tanya says reception now has static on antenna radio.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. We're losing it. We're losing it.
Sorry about that.
Never looked at Melania and thought that was a man.
No, we can say that for sure.
Thank you, Spook. Good morning, all. Checking in from South Chilton County. We've lost you again. You were 85%, but now 50%. Not a criticism, just an observation.
Well, maybe they're working, you know,
I believe they
there
are.
could be a,
Yeah.
you know.
I saw our engineer taking a very heavy-looking piece of equipment down the elevator, which makes me wonder if he's not about to shove it into his truck and drive it out to the tower site to do something. We do not know.
Yep.
We're kept in the dark about what's going on here. They're just like, Richard, you just yap and
minute-
keep repeating
the
yourself
minute
and yap,
it's-
yap, yap, and do the DJT impression.
Right.
We love that.
The minute it's done and they're sure that everything is done, we'll get word and then we'll pass it along to y'all. But I think they're still working on it. I don't think it's, you know.
It's Wayne 100%, obviously.
yeah.
Wayne says, Richard, I guess the lady who says all you do is yap is too dumb to realize what talk radio hosts do for a living. Wayne in Northport. Thank you, Wayne. We know you're in Northport. We appreciate that.
That's
We've
our
already
job
got
to
you.
yap. We have to yap.
Yeah, we're yappers.
If we don't
We're paid yappers.
yap, it goes like this.
That's no good. We can't have that.
Absolutely.
No, that's
5 seconds of that was way too much.
That was far too much.
we got to stop that.
That was one of the first things we were taught. Hey,
Yes.
Like,
dead
oh,
air,
God, the
it's
radio.
a no-no.
Not okay.
The radio, the antenna really went out that time.
Not okay. No dead air. Let's see. Oh, gosh. I got to get to this story. I wonder, does anybody remember when Ron DeSantis was running for governor the first time in Florida? His opponent was a guy named Andrew Gillum.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how close that race was? It was tight as hell. I mean, it was super close.
Separated by what, less than 50,000 votes or something like
It
that?
wasn't a lot for a state the size of Florida. Yeah,
Way
it was
too
it was
close.
under 50,000 votes. And for a while there, they were really thinking that Gillum might have won it, and then the panhandle votes started coming in, and it was just sort of overwhelmed. And that,
Thank goodness for the panhandle.
well, since
Way to
then,
go, Florida panhandle.
Since then, of course, because they've changed the way they vote, and because of the people who have moved there and the way they're doing things, it's become a significantly more conservative state, and now it is pretty much blood red. But Andrew Gillum, not long after that, by the way, was picked up in a hotel room in Florida with a gay prostitute who was strung out on meth, and he had a bunch of drugs in the hotel room with him, and a bunch of like body oils and just nasty stuff. Anyway, he's been arrested again.
Oh, goody.
Shocker.
This time in Daphne.
That's our Daphne, Alabama.
Yeah. According to the Daphne Police Department, it was about 10:45 p.m. on Thursday when officers conducted a traffic stop on US 98 near North Main Street. After observing erratic driving, the driver was identified as 46-year-old Gillum of Tallahassee. Police said one of the officers saw a glass pipe in the center console of the vehicle. This led to a probable cause search. Several rolled marijuana cigarettes and 3 packages of a substance that tested positive for methamphetamine were recovered. Gillum was charged with unlawful possession of a controlled substance, a Class D felony, and possession of marijuana in the second degree, a Class A misdemeanor. Police said he was booked into the Daphne City Jail, later transported to the Baldwin County Correctional Facility. He was released on Friday.
Phew.
Gillum, the Democratic nominee in the 2018 Florida gubernatorial election, narrowly losing to Ron DeSantis.
That was a close one
in
for
the
you,
general
Florida.
election. Can you imagine how bad it would be to actually have had him as governor for even 4 years? it would have been a nightmare. Way to dodge that bullet, Florida.
That
well
was close.
Done. Now, I'm hoping that Byron Donald can go ahead and take over for DeSantis.
Byron's pretty sharp. Yep.
DeSantis is making noise like he wants to run in 2028. I don't know that there's room for him on a Republican ticket. There are several people who are throwing this about, and I'm kind of like, guys,
You got a couple of solid candidates already.
clear the road. You've
Right.
got a fantastic, whether it's JD and Marco or Marco and JD, you've got a killer team there that will probably do every bit as well as Donald J. Trump is doing right now, without a lot of the bric-a-brac, without all the curly cues on the side, without all the, for want of a better term, gingerbread that you get with Donald Trump. We might actually get the job done without the extra falderall. I'm just going to keep throwing out words here because it's fun. Horse hockey. Do you like that? Is that fun?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horse
Yeah,
hockey, horse pucky.
This
Horse
is going to
hockey.
be very interesting to see the back and forth between JD and Marco.
Yeah.
Who is going to run as president?
Marco says JD is his best friend in the administration, and he has already said, and that's not to say that people don't rescind these things, but he's already said, if JD is running, I'm not. It's like, okay, I appreciate that. I like that. They're both young men compared to the guy who's president now anyway, and the guy who was president last. They're both very young men. There's plenty of time. And if you want to try to set up something of a dynasty, and have more consistent and consecutive Republican presidents, there's two things you have to do. Number one, you have to have a deep bench, which we do. And number two, when that president gets in office, he has to achieve some of the things he said he was going to do. It also helps if he's likable, which is, kind of the bugaboo for Trump. Half the people just do not like the man and never will. And I've always said, you don't buy something from somebody you don't like. Well, it was just pure happenstance and luck that Kamala Harris was significantly less likable than Donald Trump.
And she really blew it doing those interviews.
Oh, my
I think that was the nail in the coffin. I really do.
And yet she was being criticized for not doing interviews and falling in the
but
polls because she wouldn't go anywhere and answer any
She
questions.
should have pulled a Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Stay low.
Right.
Stay low.
Under the radar.
Yeah.
Just
If you
stick down
don't,
here.
you're going to blow this thing up.
Well,
And that's what she did.
Donald Trump would go out and do a rally, and he would speak for 2 hours, two and a half hours, all by himself. He'd have, some local dignitaries come in and do their stuff, but he could go up and he could do 2 hours without even breathing hard. You compare that to a Kamala rally. We've got Beyonce here. Willie Nelson is here. Bruce Springsteen. Let's have a word from him. All these celebrities, which, by the way, they paid to come out to do their stuff.
A lot of money.
Huge amount of money. And she could not carry a rally on her own to save her life.
Well, they paid him, and the ones that were supposed to sing, some
Yep.
of them didn't even sing.
Didn't even sing.
Woo!
Sad but true. 9 o'clock, Dixon Divining, Talk 99.5.